Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the Future Ready Application Summit and welcome to the panel discussion on app strategies for a digital first economy. My name is Alok Bilal. I've been with Microsoft for 22 plus years, and in my current role, I'm the customer success leader for the IT services vertical. It's without a doubt that India is the app factory for the world. Last year has been a spectacular year for the India's technology industry. It recorded a growth of 15.5%. It's the highest ever to reach $227 billion in revenue per NASSCOM reports. A combination of digital and innovation continues to be the industry's winning formula. You think about platformization, everything as a service, and these have been instrumental in accelerating tech adoption. It was also the year of the startups, when tech startups leapfrogging into scale-up mode. The industry doubled down on operational excellence to maintain margin pressures, and the e-commerce sector saw a deeper penetration of the offline plus offline model. Now, with an increasing adoption of digital across the India market as well as the globe, modernizing legacy app estates, adopting serverless architectures, and microservices, and keeping the code agile and secure are top priorities for our IT services organizations across India. In order to keep up with this momentum, we'd love to know what else are some of these largest IT firms doing currently to drive higher optimization, efficiency, and innovation within their industries and for their customers. Today, we're joined by Anish Nair, Head IT UST Global, Sajid Chakingal, Head Global Technology Solutions TMF Group, and Prakash Pillai, Director of Product Solutions and Architectures, Capita India. And we'll discuss with them some of these topics and much more on app innovation strategies for the future. Welcome, Anish, Sajid, and Prakash. So I have a set of questions for you. And as I start, may I request you just do a quick intro of the company as you respond to the question. So the first question, I'll start with Anish, Sajid, and Prakash in that order. For you, what are your app strategies for the future? You think about the value proposition that the app modernization brings to the table for your organization. But more importantly, how are you thinking about meeting the customer's demand and how are you innovating to meet those ever-changing requirements? Let's start with you, Anish.
Sure, thanks. When it comes to the whole app estate as such, the whole on-prem setup, the requirement to have additional level of on-premise infrastructure as such is something that has got changed. And nowadays, what we see as such is the whole stress on cloud computing, microservices, going serverless, DevOps. But when it comes to app development, especially, what we are seeing as a trend now is that folks are a little averse when it comes to installing new apps. Instead, they would like the functionality as such to be imbibed in the current most used application. So it could be something like an Outlook, Teams, Slack, solutions like that. That is where they want to bring in the capability. So that's one of the major changes of the trends that we are seeing nowadays. And the other area, which as such in the last 2 years has taken an exponential increase, is the whole increase in the threats that have come in. So the security importance to security as such is something that has increased drastically. And every application development, we are going shift left to ensure that as much as possible, security can be ensured from the development initiation itself, all the way to deployment, post-production, and stuff like that. So those are the few changes that we see. Another trend that has now come in is wherein we are seeing users trying to reduce the dependency they have on the developers. Okay, so low code, no code solutions, that too has increased as a requirement.
Thanks for that, Anish. Sajid, what's happening from your perspective? What's from your vantage point? What are you seeing the future that app modernization brings to the table?
Thanks, Alok. Thanks for this question. Hello all. Glad to be a part of such a great audience and the great summit. So just before getting into the question, TMF, we are a compliance company operating out of 85 countries, helping our customers to make the complex world simple by helping them to invest, operate safely around the world. We have around, we are operating around 120 plus offices with around 10,000 plus staff across the world. And in India, we have our one of our largest delivery centers supporting out of the technology for TMF. So I'm from both the sides, a consumer plus a provider when it comes to these questions or the technology. So getting into the modernization question, so I have two perspectives here. One is just a consumer perspective where we all are, just it could be as simple as a taxi booking application or a online grocery store. It could be something like that, and the other one is the enterprise perspective. Certainly, from both the perspectives, there is a tons of changes which are happening into the whole world, right? So the major key shifts which I believe what I'm able to see or able to recognize is the uniqueness in experience what people want to have. We were all talking about in few months before, we were all talking about having a hardware independent platform, right? It could be mobile, it could be desktops, but now if you look at it, people want to operate it from anywhere. So it could be as simple as a smart TV. So the uniqueness in terms of the delivery, the platform independence, what people want to bring into the application is really going big. And people want it to be more interactive, more visualized. Example, if there is a retail platform, if people are able to in touch with, they are looking for it to be more interactive. Earlier we used to know the app, but we want the app to know us. We don't want to know the app, we want the app to know us. That's where the shift is happening. It's happening both from an enterprise perspective, as well as from a very single user perspective, as well as we as a regular customers of it. And then, as Anish rightly mentioned, people don't want to write codes. Everybody want to develop applications. So there is a good myth or a use case around the low code platforms coming up. People want it to be more real time. They want all their apps to be interconnected through whatever the platforms. It could be an API or it could be something else, but they are expecting it to be more interconnected. And then coming back to the enterprise and global perspective, there are a lot of changing legislative requirements when it comes to the global requirements, right? So that's also been looked at from a global perspective. So more or less, it's a great change what we are seeing. Sure, it also drops us a lot of opportunities.
Thanks so much, Ajit. Prakash, what's your perspective about the customer of the future? What do they want, and how
Hi,
they're
Alok.
innovating?
Yeah, Alok. Thanks for the question. And first of all, I want to brief about my organization. So I work for a company called Capita. It's basically a UK-based organization, but our presence is globally. And we work. We have product, and we also do IT services. We have customers across the globe, and our major business comes from public sector in UK, and then we have private sectors also across the globe. So that is brief about Capita. And in India, we have three offices: Pune, Mumbai, and Bangalore. That's brief about Capita. Yeah. Now coming to your question, thanks Sajit and Anish for highlighting really great points. I would focus upon the consumers basically. So consumers are smart today. Okay, organizations and platforms are already evaluating their personal data to improve their lives and become better sides of themselves basically. So today a lot of people use wearable connected devices or other technology stacks, okay, uh, to track their fitness or sleep patterns. As technology evolves, the data become persuasive basically. The smart consumer will polish everything they do. I mean, like starting from uh, what do they shop, how do they interact in the social media, what is their fitness pattern, what do they eat, everything. So so and here the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning will nudge and guide them through the process of life enhancement basically. Okay, from what I feel here is the platforms, the cloud platforms, has a lot to offer in this space, because no one wants to start something from the scratch or from the zero. And this stays, I mean, like cloud platforms like Azure is offering a great help to the organizations, where they can actually build on top of the existing platform, like the cognitive services or AIML platforms, or the data analytics platform. So here is where I think we can make use of the data, which is core of anything, and build a good customer experience on top of this. As my friends already highlighted, no code, low code, no code. Yeah, I mean, like these days, all the platforms are offering everything like a low code, no code platform, where you don't need to code much, but just use the platform intelligently, and you develop the solutions. So I would uh, see, in my experience, we have exploited Azure a lot, the cloud platform, and several cognitive services within that. So I think
Sure.
this is a good point, a good area where we can offer a best thing to the consumer who are smart today and want much more what is going on in the industry. Thanks.
Thank you so much, and appreciate your responses. Pretty complimentary set of insights that you shared. But as you operate in an environment where not just within your own organization, but your clients have large legacy app estates, they are fraught with challenges because you don't know who's written the code. You really have to spend time understanding the interconnects, what dependencies are there, and obviously modernizing in situ, which is just continuing with what was existing on-prem, may not be the most effective way to do that. And Prakash, you sort of alluded to that. How does the cloud help? What's the best way to transform and modernize and overcome challenges like these? So I'm going to ask the three of you again. So Anish, let's hear from you. How's your organization dealing with the large legacy app estates that you're seeing both in your clients and maybe within your own organization?
Thanks, Alok. UST and its 33,000 plus associates, as such, we are the leading providers of digital technology and transformation and IT services. Uh, and our major domains being healthcare, banking, retail. So areas which are heavy on the dependency on IT. Okay,
Correct.
most of the Fortune 150 companies have some or the other UST presence and contribution. Now, to ensure that our customers and we ourselves are able to compete and stay ahead of the rest in their same areas, as such, transitioning to newer technologies is something that's really vital. Okay, and cloud as such has been a major hub when it comes to getting these things done, or a vital component in getting these things done. Whether it be in cost optimization, cloud has always has been able to give really good results. Flexibility of the solution, uh, going ahead and ensuring that the accuracy of output, the speed of development, these are areas that cloud as such has gone ahead and enabled companies to achieve, or our customers to achieve goals much more than what they have actually gone ahead and drawn plans for. Now, what would be the best way, or what is the game plan to go ahead and transform? The best way would be to do a self evaluation first, and along with it, a market comparison to understand what your need is and what is it that you lack. And based on that, you draw a plan to resolve those gaps. And acting on those plans would be the next step. Now, for this, staying abreast with the latest in technology, evaluating them against your needs and against the basic IT pillars like recovery, reliability, security, productivity is critical. Okay, and then you go ahead and find the right fit or the right solution, and you shift to the solution providing you the highest value. If you're stuck to your archaic solutions, that would be detrimental to the growth of the company. Now, cloud results itself speak for why they are vital in when it comes to digital transformation. It makes it easier to go ahead for organizations to develop solutions, digitize functions, centralize data, and ensure security. So those those capabilities as such from the whole cloud infrastructure uh, is something that organizations and our clients are able to do, uh, working with UST and transform and modernize to bring in more efficiency.
Fascinating. Thank you. Sajid, where are you seeing the legacy app estates becoming a hindrance, and how do you overcome that? What do you do to look at helping not just your own organization but whoever you're engaging with understand the need to modernize with the cloud?
Perfect question, Alok. Thank you. It sets rightly in the middle of the current context, anyways, because we are not different from anyone. We do have a set of legacy applications which we are trying to transform. And certainly, cloud helps in dealing with those challenges. Although there is a myth of cloud, it's cloud, typically there is a perception that it's all public cloud. It's not. It's a mix of private and public. Is that what I'm talking about? But I have a very different perspective here. Certainly, dealing with the legacy applications, dealing with them, the support, maintenance, getting it running, the performance, keeping up the performance, making sure it works the way it was working few years before, etc., etc. Right? It is a challenge in hand. But there are two perspectives as per me. One is a technological perspective, the technology perspective, and other is business perspective. And I would put the business perspective stand in the first in the queue. The very important thing to understand is what this cloud, the mix of private and public, the hybrid, can offer. What is the strategic landscape looks like? What is it there to what is it there to best offer? What is the best offer there in terms of how it's helping the business strategy? That's the first thing which I would look at. And some of these challenges could be just a it could be just solved by the cloud capabilities. So I could take some examples which I myself I'm involved with Microsoft and working on the SQL versions which are going out of support. By moving them to the cloud, you just get an additional support which could be extended. So a simple problem, right? A legacy problem could be simply solved. um, but when we want to look and develop some sort of applications through the cloud, I don't think we really need to write code for everything. It's all about having a holistic view of what is there in the cloud. And there are tons and bunches of integrations what it comes out. So there is already an out of things out of the shelf. You can just pick it up from the cloud and just do some small integrations which the cloud platform already has, and just integrate it for the best need of it. So for me, it's all about bringing the business use case, the cloud technology use case, bringing them together, forming an ecosystem which can help to overcome these issues very smartly. That's what I would look forward in terms of modernizing through the cloud when it comes to.
Yeah, thanks, Ajit. Prakash, from your perspective, how do you see the challenges associated with the large legacy app estates and the opportunities that the cloud provides? I think Sajid brought a great point about hybrid, but it's
Yeah.
also about productivity, performance. How do you look at the legacy app estates, and what would be your advice?
Yeah. So, Alok, this is a common challenge. I would speak about what we have done or what we have faced with this legacy applications and why this needed modernization. So, the pointers to point out is, I mean, like, see, the maintenance and support cost is huge when we look into this legacy application, and other challenges. I mean, like, failing to extend it to other integrations or other vendors or partners. How do we integrate this particular applications to provide bigger landscape of an application to the end customer? Again, security holes. I mean, like, security holes, when I talk about how do we comply with different standards, whether it is PCI or HIPAA or SOC or anything. And then a business expansion. I'm like, it becomes, when the system is legacy and it is on prem, it becomes very difficult to expand to different new customers and new geographical locations and all. And again, regulatory compliance is one of the biggest aspect. I mean, when we move into different regions or different countries, how do we comply with that particular zonal policies, right? So but the thing is, any successful software reengineering requires a solid modernization strategy and very attention to details. Okay, so uh, the two strategies which we thought of, I mean, like initially when we were doing this modernization, one is revolutionary and the other is evolutionary. Revolutionary is something like we forget about the legacy application and we move into writing the new application from the scratch, whereas evolutionary is moving step by step, I mean, like working module by module. So okay, so here is where the cloud gives us a guidance path. Okay, when we want to move from legacy to modern, I mean, like we have gone through this Microsoft Azure's cloud migration strategy and cloud adoption framework, where we have the 4 R's, basically the rehost, refactor, re-architect, and rebuild, right? And we go through all the assessment, I mean, like first plan and strategize and assess and all, right? So this is a really good guiding path where we can actually move our legacy application into a cloud, and step by step we get from that what is there, what is the key part of that particular application as it is moving into the cloud, and slowly refactor it to the modern landscape, basically. And in this way, actually, we can reduce the cost of ownership, and it gives better agility and scalability, and again, improved security and performance. So I feel cloud is a great when it comes to modernizing this legacy apps. Yeah, thanks.
I like the term revolutionary versus evolutionary. I hope it's not copyright. I'd probably use that
Yeah.
in my subsequent conversation. But I'm going to ask you the next question, and it's tied back to when you think about what drives business transformation. It is agility, it is differentiation, it is economics of how you do business. But all of these will not work if you aren't designing applications that are designed to scale. So, for example, how do you think about to the point that Sajid had raised, about device and location independence, uniqueness and interactivity, and regulation and compliance? If you have to design applications at scale, how in your plan or in your strategy, how do you look at cloud native architectures as a way forward? Where do you see the need to put in microservices or serverless that aligns with what your organization wants or what your client wants? How do you think about scale?
Okay, so we spoke, see, in previous questions we spoke that how cloud helps us to address these challenges and also. So I see cloud as a tremendously elastic delivery platform, basically. Okay, uh,
Mhm.
it supports many kind of architecture, different kinds of architecture and deployment styles. Okay, starting from monolith to deploying your application into virtual machines, to huge set of containers, to
Mhm.
a large form of serverless architectures, basically. Okay, uh, so I think cloud has to offer everything. And when we speak about microservices and serverless, so these are the key elements of cloud native computing, right? So
Right.
uh, these days, when we speak about modernizing our application, right, we want the our domain or the our applications to be very modular, and it should be able to deployable, it should be able to deployable independently and very frequently, right? So that is
Right.
where the microservices comes into picture. And when we speak about cloud, so these days cloud provide a platform where you only worry about developing your application, not how it is deployed, how the security holes are taken care, how do you orchestrate those applications and all. So that is where the cloud comes very handy when we speak about microservices and all. And the second part, serverless, again,
Yeah.
serverless is again it's a cost effective method of enabling microservices. You don't need to worry about the underlining infrastructure, right? So the cloud provider takes care of the infrastructure and all. You only need to worry of the code snippet. So that is how I think with cloud being a platform which provides you all the base infrastructure, you just need to worry about your domain and how do you orchestrate your business applications basically.
Thanks. Sajid, your perspectives on how do you solve the challenge for scale?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. I think Prakash brought very, very interesting points. I really liked the way the revolution and devolution points are picking up. So it's really nice. I think both has its own way to play. And I feel the serverless architecture is a way forward. I could hardly imagine that anyone building an application in these recent ages are really looking to do a legacy architecture, which is non-cloud based. I don't think so. Anybody's doing.
Okay.
And everybody want the application to be portable, and want to take away the overheads which are there in terms of managing the servers, the infrastructures, and so on and so forth, and of course with the right set of costs what it comes in. So the interesting aspect is like, is it again? I'll go back to the myth of the cloud, which people talk about. It's all about being public cloud. No, really, it's not. It's still there are microservices which could stand up within the on-premises and could help our customers, ourselves, to host those applications which are portable. And the changing legislations, the regulations are really asking for those as well. So the interesting aspect would be like, the serverless architecture. Yes, it's the way forward. How do we create, or the ecosystem? How do we create those ecosystem with the right balance of on-premise versus the public cloud infrastructure? How it's going to stand up? And certainly, everybody want the applications to be portable. So microservices are going to be the going to tell the story forward. And again, all these things comes with a cost, right? So how do we make sure that there is a right balance without compromising the user experience and the ability to scale, etc., etc.? So that's what I think was going to be the way forward.
Now, fascinating to think about these helping address the aspect of scale and improve the digitization for our clients. Anish, next question is for you. For your 33,000 plus associates and growing, developers innovate at grassroots, but they need the right set of tools to do so. How do you ensure that the developer experience fosters innovation, it fosters creativity, it fosters that collaboration, so that you're getting the best out of your developers? And underlying that is also a function of velocity. Your clients are demanding for projects to be completed faster. They're asking for more innovative stuff. So how do you look at your developer practices in a hybrid in DevOps scenario? And the second part there would be the point that was raised earlier that you mentioned about security. And so how do you ensure that the code that is being written is secure? How do you protect IP? So a longish question, but just fundamental to how your 33,000 associates look at writing the best code for your clients.
I'll take this question in a different way. With an example. So USC has an application called UNUSD. It's an application that's containerized with microservices. So everything an employee needs is available in the application. Okay. For example, all your approvals, support, travel, your me-centric, me-specific analytics, your time clocking, expenses, news, everything containerized, made available to the employee on the fingertips, as well as on the web too. So now, if I take development of an application, it is three groups that actually go ahead and collaborate to get you the best output. So one group is the business, which is going to give you the requirements. So it is important the business as such thinks digital. If they continue to think paperwork, that's the direction that it's going to go, right? So the business having the digital thought is one important aspect. Second is the user. The user as such should be in a situation, or should be ready to accept new technology. Okay. And that's getting them to be more accessible for the user, getting them or providing them services that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get. So those kind of when we provide that kind of a service, the users also become much more engaged. Then comes the third team, which is the developer team. Now, if I take the development of this particular application itself, 60% of the requirement came from the business community and the user community, because once they start seeing the results, they want more stuff to be added and they give us recommendations. Okay, and that's how this solution has grown and has around, I think, 7,000 users a day for us.
Wow.
Okay, so that's how we are growing. Now, to ensure that the users stay interested, that's where your question comes in, as in how do we speed up the whole delivery? How do we ensure the highest quality? So DevOps has been a game changer for us, integrated with GitHub and all the other solutions, and your whole ecosystem as such drastically changes. The time you spend on maintenance, deployment, I think reduced by 90 plus percentages, right? You can do multiple deployments. I don't need to have the admin team sit and take care of maintenance. Patches are updated automatically. So the developers as such are doing development work and not the other aspect of the earlier or the legacy way of working, wherein the developer and the admin team would take hours to go ahead and take care of deployment, patch updates, etc. Okay, and going forward, to ensure that the developers as such are operating at the best, one of the critical items we do find is ensuring that the skill gap or trainings are provided to the developer community at frequent intervals, because technology is changing at a very fast pace. So it is important our developers learn on a daily basis what's coming, what's happening new, what's the other way of doing certain stuff. Now, to ensure your development work happens properly or happens well at a fast pace, it is important that the backend infrastructure, whether it be for the data, the integration across the solutions, all those aspects are taken care of. So we resorted to data lake and data warehouses. For API, we have API management layers, and in certain cases where we encourage business to go ahead and do their own development, do their own solution development if it's a minor requirement. So we go ahead and train our business users itself to go ahead and develop apps using low code solutions. Now, in addition to this, few in the last 2.5 3 years, things related to RPA, the whole automation channel, with solutions like Power Automate, UiPath, and a few others, which have come in. It has made the life much easier. So it could be for automating certain manual tasks which have a standard operating procedure, or it could be when we are trying to integrate or extract data from solutions which otherwise do not have an integration medium. So those aspects as such make the whole development process for the developer community much easier. So they are able to deliver solutions that as such are much advanced as well as much user engaging compared to what they could earlier.
Wow, Anish, thanks for bringing the response to life with the U at UST. And I appreciate how the thinking is gone. And I like the comment of business having digital thought. It usually doesn't come naturally. And it will be fascinating to maybe learn at a later instance how you've gone about in getting that done. Anything, Sajid or Prakash, you'd want to add?
I think I really liked the digital thought. So that's the right way to put, Anish. Thanks. It's a good point to take away. No, just to add, I think that's exactly is most of the organizations are going, including us as well. And from a perspective of how it's going to be, I believe it's more or less the applications are going to be more intelligent, right? It's going to, everybody wants to have an application which understands me, knows me, can interact with me, can connect me to anywhere. And I could be able to develop my own applications with right set of performance, having personalizations and so on and so forth. So that, I think that's going to be the future. And I believe we have covered a lot of other points as well. So this is going to rule the world going forward. That's what I think.
Absolutely. Prakash, anything that you'd want to add?
Yeah, as both of them already highlighted. I mean, like the as I said earlier, also consumers are smart today. So to for them to offer a polished digital solution is much needed, right? And cloud is where which provides us the basic infrastructure and platform to execute that, right? Whether it is big data platform, whether it is AI/ML, or no code low code solution, or serverless, or how do we deploy the solution using DevSecOps,
Correct.
addressing all the security features, right? So I think this evaluation of technology, process, and tools is going to give a higher hand to the business to meet this consumer needs, smart consumer needs, basically.
Wow. Thanks, Anish, Sajid, and Prakash for a fascinating discussion around the app strategies for the digital first economy. It was great to get your insights and experiences of how organizations like you are delivering impact through improved developer velocity, embedding security, and eventually driving customer delight. I take away quite a few phrases from our conversation, whether it's revolutionary versus evolutionary, having businesses have digital thoughts, the need for us to think about device location independence, interactivity, yet focus on regulation and compliance. But what was underlying was how cloud does not require you to start from scratch. The elements of productivity, performance, cost optimization, support for hybrid, including support for legacy environments as you transition the applications into the modern world. I take back many of these. And so thank you once again for such an engaging conversation. Have a great rest of the summit.